Hello, beautiful Libra. What if I told you that this very Wednesday, a sacred financial gate is opening and it has your name written on it? That's right. A financial shift is coming, and you, dear Libra, are the one being called to step forward. In the first few seconds of this reading, I want you to know, this isn't just another horoscope. This is a divine message, tailor-made for your soul, and its timing is no accident. Take a deep breath with me. Can you feel it? That subtle shift in the air? Like something is stirring in the unseen, something long overdue finally aligning itself just right. That's not your imagination. That's divine timing whispering your name. You see, Libra, you've always lived with one foot in the tangible world and the other in the invisible. You sense things others miss. You feel the energy before it arrives. And this week, that sensitivity is guiding you to a turning point unlike any author rebalancing of your life's financial flow that has been years, perhaps lifetimes, in the making. The universe isn't just dropping you a blessing. It's restoring a sacred contract that was never broken, only delayed. Maybe lately you've been feeling a quiet nudge inside. A kind of knowing without words. Perhaps you've noticed that some people have started reaching out again, or a strange clarity is returning to your mind after months of fog. Or maybe, you're simply exhausted from trying so hard for so long without seeing the results. If that's you, then I want you to hear me clearly. Your endurance, your honesty, your refusal to betray your core values even when it hurt, that is why this moment belongs to you. This Wednesday isn't about luck. It's about energetic alignment. You've passed the tests. You've done the unseen inner work. You've chosen integrity over shortcuts. And now the scales, your sacred symbol, are finally tipping in your favor. And when they tip, they won't just bring money. They'll bring peace. Freedom. A new beginning on your terms. Libra, I need you to do something important. Type the number 888 in the comments right now. Not because it's a superstition, but because it's a sacred signal to the universe that you're ready. That you claim this shift. That you are no longer waiting to be chosen. You know you were always the chosen one. And if you're still here, still listening with your heart open, let me say this: I don't believe in coincidences. You didn't find this video by accident. You were drawn here. By your spirit. By your alignment. And by the higher forces that have been guiding your journey even when you couldn't see them. Let me take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your presence here today. Every like, every comment you share, every subscription you offer pulls you closer into the energy of our growing soul family here at Zodiac Whisper Tarot. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Your support is what makes this work possible. It's what fuels these messages and allows them to find those who need them most. And believe me, beloved Libra, you're going to want to stay with me until the very end of today's reading, because what the universe is revealing is nothing short of spectacular. So, tell me, my loyal Libra friends, what has your soul done to magnetize this moment, to summon this message, to open this divine doorway right now? Stay close, stay present, and allow yourself to be seen, for this is not just about receiving a message. This is about recognizing your role in the miracle that is unfolding. Let's dive in. There's something profoundly sacred about the way Libra endures. Not with loud resistance or visible rebellion, but with quiet strength, soft resilience, and a deep, unshakable sense of what is right. Over the past 6 to 12 months, many of you have found yourselves caught in the invisible tension between giving and receiving, between truth and betrayal, between what is just and what simply hurts. And in typical Libra fashion, instead of exploding outward, you absorbed much of it inward. You carried disappointment like it was your duty, and you wore emotional labor like a second skin unseen, but never unfelt. But here's the truth that often goes unspoken: the pain you've been holding hasn't weakened you. It's been refining you. Every time you chose grace instead of retaliation, every moment you remained kind in the face of manipulation, every silent act of inner dignity when no one was watching, these weren't weaknesses. They were spiritual deposits. And now, Libra, your balance sheet is about to shift. What was withdrawn in loss is about to return in divine compensation. You may not have realized it while you were in the storm, but you were doing something powerful. You were aligning with integrity. While others were chasing quick wins or validation, you were quietly investing in long-term soul wealth. You stayed true to your compass, even when it felt like no one else was playing fair. And though your actions may not have been rewarded immediately, you were never forgotten. The energy you put out was recorded, and the scales are now adjusting. In astrology, Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of harmony, beauty, and value. But Venus also asks for reciprocity. She doesn't just give, she expects alignment. And so when you are out of sync with what you truly deserve, the imbalance can manifest not only in your heart, but in your finances, your relationships, and your self-worth. The good news is that alignment is returning. The Justice card, your sacred archetype in the tarot, confirms it. This moment is not about punishment or reward. It's about realignment. And maybe now, more than ever, you're being invited to stop questioning whether you're worthy of what's coming. It's not about deserving in the traditional sense, it's about readiness. You've done the work. You've asked the hard questions. You've said no when you used to say yes just to keep the peace. That's strength. That's growth. That's enough. Take a moment and reflect. Have you been giving too much of yourself lately, your energy, your time, your kindness without much in return? If so, this is your invitation to speak that truth. Share it in the comments, even if it's just to release it from your heart. There's healing in being seen, even digitally. And in doing so, you become the mirror for someone else who is walking the same road. As someone who has spent years immersed in the subtle wisdom of astrology, tarot, and energetic healing, I can tell you this: not all transformation looks like fireworks. Sometimes, it looks like quiet resolve. Sometimes, it looks like choosing yourself after a long time of putting others first. And sometimes, it looks like sitting in stillness, knowing that your breakthrough is not something you have to foresee, it's something you've already magnetized through your patience and perseverance. So when the financial shift arrives, and it wouldn't be surprised if it comes in an unexpected way, a kind gesture, an old debt repaid, a job offer that finally feels aligned, or even a sense of peace that you can't quite explain. You don't have to chase it, Libra. Just be present enough to receive it. In moments of doubt, remember the gentle wisdom. Your quiet faith has never gone unnoticed, and your restoration will always come at exactly the right time. Some moments are written into our story long before we realize we're living them, and this Wednesday, Libra, is one of those moments. You may not see anything extraordinary on the surface at first. The sky might look the same, the world may keep spinning as usual, and yet, something fundamental is shifting under your feet. There's an energy recalibration occurring, subtle but powerful, and it's aligning you with the flow of financial freedom in a way that feels both inevitable and long-awaited. What you're entering is not random. It's rhythm. Divine timing working in harmony with the choices you've made and the values you've protected. In numerology, Wednesday holds the vibration of the number 4, a number of foundation, structure, and inner security. This isn't the chaotic kind of transformation that knocks everything down. It's the type that builds upon what's already been laid brick by brick through your patience and persistence. This week is your energetic blueprint stabilizing. You've been walking a path paved with discipline and quiet faith, and now the ground beneath you is becoming fertile for growth. The door isn't flying open with noisy, it's unlocking with grace. And the key has always been your integrity. Many of you will start to notice subtle signs this week. A moment of peace that settles in your chest for no apparent reason. A delayed payment that finally comes through. A job opportunity that feels curiously aligned. A message from someone who once left you waiting. Or perhaps even more profound, an idea, an inner whisper, a creative spark that reawakens a dream you had set aside long ago. These aren't coincidences. These are confirmations. Quiet nods from the universe that you're no longer in the waiting room. You're stepping into the room where decisions are meant to be you, for you. From the perspective of the law of attraction, this is a time of magnetic receptivity. You're no longer being asked to hustle, to beg, to prove. You're being asked to allow. To clear space. To prepare emotionally, energetically, and practically for what you've been calling in without even knowing it. The breakthrough doesn't come when you demand it. It arrives the moment you are fully aligned with its presence. And Libra, this Wednesday, you are. You've stopped chasing what was never yours and started holding space for what truly belongs to you. Picture this, the gate of wealthy, our personal Libra money portalis opening, but not to just anyone. It's opening to the one whose hands have remained clean when it would have been easier to cut corners. To the one whose heart stayed kind when bitterness knocked. To the one who gave without resentment and walked away from what wasn't fair, even when it was painful. That's you. And that honesty, that self-respect, it's the exact frequency that turned the lock. When you begin to notice these shifts, don't brush them off as luck or timing. Acknowledge them as the result of quiet alignment and steady intention. Take small inspired actions, follow up on that message, say yes to that meeting, revisit the budget you've been ignoring. Be practical, but also open. Financial flow is not only about numbers, it's about clarity, boundaries, and honoring your worth. Remember, blessings rarely shout. They arrive through people, through peace, through doors you forgot were even there. Let this Wednesday be a day where you're not just watching life happen, you're part of the architecture of it. And in moments of doubt, ground yourself in a gentle reminder, when your heart is in the right place, provision is never far behind. Let this truth be the foundation upon which you receive everything that's been patiently waiting for you. Sometimes, the most powerful shifts in our financial lives have nothing to do with bank accounts or balance sheets, they begin inside of us. Libra, what you're stepping into this week isn't just a monetary change, it's a deeper, more liberating shift in the way you perceive your own worth and the freedom that comes from honoring it. You've spent so much of your life trying to balance everything: others' needs, others' expectations, your desire for peace against your need for truth. But here's the truth many avoid: constantly striving to keep the peace often comes at the cost of your own alignment. And now, that pattern is unraveling not in chaos, but in clarity. Financial freedom is rarely about having more. It's about releasing what no longer holds authority over you. The first level of this shift is about freedom from the financial burdens you've inherited or unconsciously accepted, whether they're literal debts or emotional ones. This might look like no longer taking on the responsibility of fixing other people's messes. It might mean forgiving yourself for financial decisions you made when you didn't know better. It might even mean simply saying no to patterns that once kept you small. The second level goes even deeper. It's the freedom from that subtle pressure to please, doing, giving, agreeing, sacrificing so others remain comfortable while you shrink a little more each time. This week invites you to ask yourself, who am I when I'm not managing everyone else's expectations? The answer may feel unfamiliar at first, but that's exactly where your freedom is born. Because true abundance doesn't flow through the cracks of self-abandonment. It flows through alignment. And finally, you're being called to step into the version of yourself that no longer compromises in the name of approval or belonging. The highest expression of Libra isn't passive, it's powerful. You are here not just to keep things in balance, but to define what balance truly looks like for you. You are allowed to design a life that reflects your beauty, your values, and your inner clarity without apology. The shift you're experiencing isn't about becoming someone new, it's about returning to who you were before the world asked you to fragment yourself in order to be accepted. If you've been feeling like your energy has been scattered lately, or like your finances reflect a version of you that's outdated, that's not failure, it's feedback. It's the invitation to realign with the self who no longer makes decisions out of guilt, fear, or scarcity. You don't have to explain it. You just have to honor it. Color and frequency are powerful tools to support this transition. This week, olive green is your ally. It's the color of maturity, trust, and grounded growth. Wearing it, or even simply surrounding yourself with it, can help signal to your energy field that you are stabilizing into a new foundation. If you feel drawn to crystals, peridot is another powerful amplifier for your journey. It holds the vibration of renewal and confidence, gently helping you release what no longer supports your highest path. Now ask yourself honestly, are you ready to stop staying neutral just to avoid rocking the boat? Are you willing to step into the light of your own values, even if it means standing alone for a moment? That's not selfish. That's sacred. That's where your next chapter begins. You were never meant to live a life of quiet compromise. You were meant to lead through balance, to influence through example, and to receive not because you earned it by suffering but because you remembered your worth. If that resonates with you, take a moment to affirm it aloud or in writing. Because the moment you choose you, the universe does too. There's something quietly miraculous about what's returning to you now, Libra, not because you demanded it, not because you chased it down, but because you stayed true when no one was watching. Think of a bamboo plant. For years, it grows roots silently beneath the surface, invisible to the eye. People may walk by it daily and think nothing is happening. But one day, seemingly overnight, it shoots up feet into the air in just a few weeks. What they don't see is that the growth didn't begin then. It was always happening, just out of sight. You, Libra, have been that bamboo. This season of your life is not about pushing or performing. It's about receiving. It's about allowing what was always meant for you to make its way back stronger, clearer, and more aligned than when it first slipped through your fingers. Maybe you've lost money, trust, connections, or opportunities you thought were once in a lifetime. Maybe you've been told to let go and move on without closure. But the universe doesn't forget what was planted in good soil. What you sowed in integrity is now returning, not as it was, but double transformed through time, pain, and purpose. This isn't about nostalgia or clinging to the past. It's about restoration. What's returning is the energy of wholeness. What was taken from you unjustly, what was delayed by divine protection, what was paused because you weren't yet in the position to steward it fully. And now you are. The Six of Pentacles speaks clearly in this moment. Divine reciprocity is in motion. What's yours by right of alignment will find its way back. A long-lost opportunity could suddenly reappear in a message or email. An old client may reach out ready to invest again. A debt you'd already written off may be paid without warning. A relationship that once ended without clarity may return, not to disrupt, but to restore. Yet with all this beauty flowing back in, there's an important truth to honor. Receiving requires readiness. When something returns to your life, it brings energy with it. If you're not grounded, you might move too quickly, spend impulsively, or miss the deeper meaning behind the return. So this week, give yourself the gift of presence. Don't react, respond. If something unexpected comes your way, pause before jumping in. Take 48 hours to breathe, reflect, journal. Make space to ask, is this version of the opportunity aligned with who I am now? Simple rituals can support this shift. A warm cup of ginger tea in the morning can stimulate clarity and emotional warmth. 10 to 15 minutes of stillness, whether through meditation, prayer, or conscious breathing, can help you anchor your energy and receive with wisdom, not urgency. Rest is part of your preparation. So is gratitude. And Libra, if you're tempted to feel guilty for this blessing, don't. You didn't take shortcuts to get here. You walked the long road with grace. You passed the test without anyone clapping. This return is not a reward for perfection, it's recognition of perseverance. As someone once said gently, you don't need to earn what love and truth already promised. You just need to be ready when it comes home. So when the gifts begin to appear, whether tangible or emotional, embrace them fully. Let them remind you that loss is never the end of the story. Often, it's just the prologue to something better built on truth. And this time, you're not starting over. You're rising from where you've already been planted. Let it come. Let it multiply. Let it be yours, again. Receiving is never the end of the journey, it's only the beginning of something even more beautiful. Libra, this moment you're stepping into is not just about a financial shift for your own life. It's about the role you're meant to play as a quiet leader of energetic balance within your community, your family, your relationships. When abundance reaches someone like you, someone who leads with grace, someone who gives without keeping score, the ripple effects are powerful. You don't just absorb wealth, you reflect it. You don't just receive peace, you extend it. And in doing so, you become a mirror of what's possible for those around you. This is where your Libra nature truly shines. You have a natural ability to restore harmony without forcing it. You offer safety in your presence, clarity in your words, and beauty in your choices. People may not always know how to describe it, but they feel different when they're around you, more grounded, more hopeful, more seen. And now that you've reclaimed your own flow, the universe gently asks, will you share what you've received? One of the most profound universal laws I've witnessed over and over again in my years of studying energy, astrology, and human behavior is the law of resonance. It teaches us that what we radiate is what we amplify, not just in our lives, but in the world around us. When you choose to live in alignment with your values, your energy becomes a tuning fork for those around you to rise, too. When you embrace prosperity without guilt, others around you feel safer to believe that wealth and goodness can belong to them as well. You don't need to preach or prove anything. You simply need to live honestly in your light. That alone shifts everything. So let me ask you, softly but directly, are you ready to become a vessel, not only of receiving but of radiating? Are you willing to trust that your healed energy can now help heal the spaces you inhabit, not by fixing, but by being? If that resonates with you, I invite you to write in the comments, 888 I am ready to receive and radiate. This number, 888, holds the vibration of infinite flow and balance, perfectly in tune with your Libra essence. It's not about superstition, it's about intention. When you speak that intention aloud, the energy begins to echo outward. And it's in the simple, grounded actions that you begin to integrate what's unfolding. Take a quiet moment today to write down 3 financial blessings, big or small, that you're grateful for. This small act of recognition multiplies what you're able to hold. Then, go a step further. Send a financial blessing to someone else. It could be a kind comment wishing them abundance, or simply a silent prayer for someone who's struggling. When we give from fullness, we never lose. We increase the capacity for more. Lastly, if this message has stirred something in you, consider sharing it. You never know who might be silently hoping for a sign that things are about to get better. By sharing, you extend the frequency of hope. You activate the field of collective restoration. And you become part of a movement that isn't loud but deeply transformational. Let this be your new way of receiving, with open palms, and a heart that knows it was never just about you. You were always meant to be a lighthouse, not just to shine, but to remind others that they, too, can come home to their light. And Libra, that's a gift only someone like you can give. And now, dear Libra, as we come to the close of this sacred journey together, let's take a moment to exhale, not just with your breath, but with your spirit. Everything you've just received in this message was never meant to tell you what to do, but to remind you of what's already within you. This is not a prophecy to blindly believe in. This is a map, a gentle, cosmic invitation for you to step more consciously into the energy that has been quietly waiting for your yes. The real shift doesn't begin on the outside. It begins the moment you grant yourself permission to fully show up for the life you were designed to live. Financial freedom, abundance, clarity, peace, theory, not something we chase. They are something we align with. They are the natural outcome of deciding, day after day, to honor your truth, your pace, your value. And the beauty of being Libra is that you are wired to recognize harmony. You feel when something clicks, even if it makes no sense to the world. So trust that feeling now. That tug you feel in your chest. That quiet, this is for me. That's your inner wisdom awakening. Let it lead you. I invite you to carry this energy beyond the screen. Take one action that embodies the version of you who already believes in this shift. Maybe it's saying no to an offer that doesn't align. Maybe it's starting that savings plan. Maybe it's journaling about your vision without censoring it this time. Whatever it is, take one aligned step. And when you do, you'll begin to notice something powerful. The more you act like the person who's already free, the more freedom begins to show up in your life. So let me ask you, from one guide to another soul, what would your life look like if you stopped waiting for someone else to give you permission? What would shift if you chose today to believe that the abundance you desire is already walking toward you because you are finally still enough, strong enough, open enough to receive it? If this message resonated with your spirit in any way, I would love to hear from you. Comment below and let me know, what part of today's guidance spoke most deeply to your heart? What are you now ready to claim? Let's co-create a wave of momentum together. Your voice matters. And if you haven't already, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, and share it with someone who might be silently searching for exactly this kind of light. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing this space to be one of truth, healing, and quiet power. Your support, your energy, your presence, these are the real miracles that fuel this channel and allow these transformative messages to reach those who need them most. I am beyond grateful for you. And now, as we part for now, hold this final affirmation close to your heart. I am Libra. I am ready to receive. I am no longer stuck. I am the beginning of divine wealth. Say it aloud. Say it again. Let it settle into your bones. You don't need permission to shine anymore. The door is already open. All that's left is for you to walk through.